Hey everybody! It's been a little while since I've done a video, and um, there's a few reasons for that, which I'll get into in a minute. But I figured it's probably high time. I mean, the last time you guys saw me, I did not have blonde hair. Um, Also missing a little bit of it under here. But and the next time you see me, I will probably not have blonde hair anymore. I will probably have some crazy colors. I'm planning on doing some interesting things and just wanting to do something a little different. Everything's a little boring-ish with quarantine. I mean, obviously, like, we're starting a homestead, so everything is not boring for sure. But sometimes you just have to do something to switch things up. And um, I don't know. I figured at the point I was at with my hair, it was either shave my head or dye it crazy colors. So I figured it probably would look better with crazy hair than a bald head because, you know, hair is kind of a thing. But, anyways, I am doing the video from my couch this morning. I just got up. The kids took care of their morning chores. They take care of the chickens and the rabbits in the morning. I don't think you guys have seen the rabbits yet, so I'll have to introduce you to them. That might have to be the next video, though, because I am having a really bad pain day today. Um, Now, I look like a perfectly healthy person. I appear pretty happy most of the time, and people don't realize that I actually have a couple of issues with my body that make certain days pretty hard for me. I have arthritis in a few different areas of my body, and I also have fibromyalgia, and then I do have some other health things that I'm not going to share on the channel just because they're kind of personal. But I live in Oregon right now, and it's winter. So it's cold and it's rainy, and my body does not like humid and cold. My body doesn't like cold, period. Really does not like cold, period. Wisconsin winters were absolutely miserable for me. I could not do anything sometimes in the winter. Like, there would be days where I literally could barely get out of bed. Um, it's not that bad here. Like, my fibro since we moved has. The summertime was awesome. I had almost no pain. In Wisconsin, I was still having pain because the humidity levels were high. I don't know how that relates. I'm assuming there's a correlation, but I don't know. I'm just kind of guessing here. There's a lot that they don't know about fibro. There's a lot of people who don't think it's even a real thing. I'm I'm not convinced that there's not a reason that my body is angry, and then I don't know that fibro is like, in 20 to 50 years from now, are they still going to be calling what I'm experiencing fibro? I don't know. It might be something else. But whatever it is, I'm in pain. I feel like all the muscles in my body are knotted and in this like Charlie horse that doesn't end. And you look at me right now, and I'm smiling, and I'm talking to you normally, but I mean the muscles in my chest and my neck, my back, my eyebrows hurt right now. Um and it's not always this bad. It's not an everyday thing. I have bad days, I have good days, but it just seems like the colder it gets, the worse my body acts. So it's extraordinarily frustrating for me as a new homesteader right now to not be able to go out and put the roofing on my coop. I mean, there's a roof on the coop. I finished the chicken coop for the most part, except for I have to put corrugated roofing on it because I'm going to set up a rainwater catchment system. Um, and I can't physically go out and do that right now because to even stand on the ladder, just the muscle control that it requires to balance yourself is too much for me at the moment, and that's really hard for me to admit. It's really frustrating because I have goals and I have dreams. And so I'm sharing this with you guys to let you know that sometimes you have to be easy on yourself. Um, I know me as a new homesteader, I'm looking at all of these people who are on YouTube and all of these beautiful homesteads they have, the gorgeous chicken coops, which mine is not gorgeous by any stretch of the imagination. It looks like a 5-year-old built it. But it works. It does what it needs to do. So I'm not too worried about how it looks if it functions. I'll make it prettier later. Um, I'm much more of a functionality girl and not as much of an aesthetic girl. I'm trying to be more about the aesthetic too, but sometimes when you have limited energy, you just have to do what you can and then worry about the rest later. With homesteading so far, everything's been awesome. You know, we've got the chickens, we're getting the blackberry bushes mowed down more. My husband keeps working on those. We got my mother-in-law moved into a better spot, so she's more comfortable, and we have a little bit more room in the back of the yard now. So we've been doing a lot of projects. There's a lot going on. And then, you know, I also haven't shared because it's like, well, we're just doing chores. And then I thought about it and I'm like, well, literally every homesteading channel I watch, all I watch is people doing chores. You know, I watch people feeding their chickens, milking their goats, milking their cows, moving their chicken tractors. Like, those are the kinds of things that I watch and I find interesting. But for some reason, I feel like when I'm doing it, maybe other people aren't going to be as interested. So I'm trying to kind of get myself out of that mindset. I'm trying to realize that maybe I just need to record it when we are doing our chores and post it and let my viewers decide what they want to see and what they don't want to see. So that's part of the reason why I'm filming this today, is because I wanted to let you guys know why there's been a lapse in videos, where my head's at, where my body is at, and just give you a little bit of an update on things. I would love to, later today when it warms up some, I'm going to go out and do a bit of a video and take some pictures of the chickens, because I know I love looking at pictures of other people's chickens on Instagram and everything. So I'm going to start trying to share more of those. We are trying to prepare for goats for the spring. Super exciting, but I'm also a little nervous because of the fact that my body does hurt so bad. And before we get goats, we have to get a goat barn going. We have to, you know, and it doesn't necessarily need to be anything super fancy, but the goats have to have shelter. They have to be able to be locked up. We have seen coyotes in the field across from us. So we know that we have to be able to keep them safe. And then we have to have proper fencing up, because our yard is mostly fenced in, but goats are escape artists. So even if I do finish off the fencing for the yard, I still need to have a pen to keep them in. Not to mention, I don't want goat poop all over my yard. So there's that too. But we have a lot of projects on the agenda, and there's still so much to do here in the house. I'm decided that I'm going to repaint the living room again, because I'm not really thrilled with the way this color is performing. It's not exactly what I wanted, so I'm probably not going to repaint the living room for a while, but it's going to be happening. We have a lot of remodeling projects planned. Like, I haven't really done much of a house tour with you guys because, number one, ever since the wildfires, our daughter and her boyfriend have been staying in our living room. So right now our house kind of is a little overrun. We have 7 people living in a 3-bedroom house, and the kids' bedrooms are pretty small. So we've got them in the living room, and you know, it's cluttered. It's messy. But there's a lot of remodeling projects we have planned in the house. Once they get an apartment, which they're planning on doing, I'll get things situated in the house a little better. Finally, give you a house tour, and then I'm going to start trying to do more videos and keep you guys more updated with the homesteading things we're doing and just our life stuff. Karma is totally loving being a farm dog. She loves running around. She loves going in by the chickens and trying to eat all of the kitchen scraps we feed to them. That's her favorite thing to do, is get in there and eat all their food because she's greedy and gross. She likes to try to eat chicken poop too, so we don't let her in the run too much. Right now we have the chickens confined to the run until we get the yard fully fenced. Once we get the yard fully fenced, I'm going to let them kind of free range. And that's exciting. I'm excited to see how that goes. We're at 12 chickens right now. Still haven't gotten any more yet, but notice I said yet. I think I'm officially becoming a crazy chicken lady. If you follow my Instagram at all, you'll see that I'm also becoming a crazy plant lady. I'm starting to get a bunch of different house plants, and I used to think I had a black thumb. Any houseplant I ever owned, I would kill. It would die on me. It was horrible. I hated it. And so I was like, I'm just never doing houseplants anymore. And then one year, I saw an ivy that I thought was really beautiful at Aldi. And I decided I'd grab it. And I managed to keep that alive. And I had a conversation with my mother-in-law who's a plant lady. She loves plants. And she gave me a cutting of a plant that she had since before my husband was born. And I have managed to keep it alive, and it's thriving, and my ivy's still alive. And turns out I was watering too frequently. I thought that you needed to water your plant every day, every other day. No, I was drowning my poor plants. So it's kind of interesting how you think that you're bad at something and you just kind of want to give up, and then you talk to somebody who knows something about it, and you get a chance to learn something from someone who has more experience than you do, and then you realize that you don't really suck at something. You actually really like it. And I think that that's become kind of a lesson for me in life, is that you don't know unless you try, and to always find people who have more experience than you. One of the things that I've done, throughout learning how to homestead, preparing for homesteading, as I have tried to acquire more knowledge, I've watched YouTube channels, I've read books, I've gone to farms and had farm tours, but one of the things that I think is kind of overlooked for people who are considering homesteading is social media groups. I'm a member of probably 20 something plant or homesteading related groups on Facebook right now. And those, I'm also a member of chicken groups and goat groups, and those have been invaluable resources for me, because these are people who are doing what I want to do. And by watching them and the struggles they face and the triumphs that they face, I get an idea of what I might need to do if I come into a similar situation. Experience is one of the best teachers. If you want to learn how to can, your grandma cans, spend a weekend in the summer with your grandma and learn from her. If you don't have a grandma who cans, but you have someone at your church or someone in your neighborhood or someone, or even if you don't know anybody who cans, look up a local Facebook group. Because I guarantee you that there's probably some, and if there's not a group that is specifically for your local area, look up just a general group and then post in the group and say, hey, is there anybody from this area? Find a mentor. Mentors for homesteading are going to be invaluable to you. one of the things that I like about homesteading, and I didn't entirely realize at first, is that you need a community. You need a community of people who are interested in doing the same things that you do. Maybe it's not a physical community in your actual area. Maybe it's an online community. Maybe it's you find a mentor who you can video chat or send pictures to, or just have conversations with and glean from them. There is something to be said for um, having that accessible to you. So if you are looking into homesteading and you are trying to get started with this stuff, and let's say you've never grown a plant in your life and you don't know how to do it, look into community gardens in your area, gardening groups, like physical, where you would go and, be in a garden area with other people who are gardening. I know because of what's going on right now with the whole sickness thing that's going around. I'm trying to be careful and not say things. Um, it's hard to get out and network that way. But that's where social media comes in. And I think that this is part of the reason why we created social media in the first place, was so that we could connect with people who are of similar mind. And we can learn from people. We can learn about people. And we've really lost sight of that. Social media became, even for me, a pretty toxic place for a while. And I just got to the point where I don't, with social media, I don't do a lot of social, personal stuff anymore. I do a lot of learning and gleaning and reading posts that people have written, hey, help, my chicken's sick. This is the symptoms. This is what's going on. And then you get people who come in the comments and who are like, hey, try this, try that, look into this. And if I didn't have that resource available to me and one of my chickens get sick, I wouldn't know where to go. I wouldn't know where to start. I mean, there's people in the area that I know that have chickens and I could talk to them, but this way it's everybody's in one area and I don't have to go hunt somebody down and I don't have to worry about, well, have they experienced this or not, because it's a group of thousands of people. So the chances that someone in that group is probably going to have experience with whatever question it is that I have. So I know I kind of went off on a little tangent there, but seriously, guys, Facebook groups. I've actually downloaded MeWe, which is another social media app, which a lot of, a lot of homesteaders have decided to leave Facebook's platform because of its policies on selling animals and the like. And when you're a homesteader, you're going to have livestock to sell at some point. You're going to have eggs to sell. You're going to have baby chicks to sell. You're going to have does and bucklings to sell, dolings and bucklings to sell if you're breeding goats, because you have to breed the goat to get milk. You need to be able to sell the babies, because otherwise you're going to wind up with 101 goats. And I don't know that there's anybody who can support the feed for 101 goats. So with homesteading, you will need to sell something eventually. And MeWe is a good platform for being able to do that. Other places where I look, people have gotten creative with Facebook. You can still find animals and farm or homesteading things on Facebook for sale, but it's a little bit more difficult. Craigslist is another great resource. I mean, I cannot tell you, our building supplies, we've gone out and gotten weathered but perfectly good 2x4s for free from people. We've been able to reach out to the community in our area and source materials for free or cheap. And we have quite a few children. We have 5 kids, and it's Christmas time right now. You know, we're getting ready for the holidays. And all of our kids just happened to be born right around this time of year, too. So, right now, this time of year for us is also financially kind of tricky, usually because of kids' birthdays and Christmas and everything. And we do budget for it, but still, we always are like, oh, hey, look at this last minute deal. And we go grab it. And so we always wind up a little tight, but it's been awesome to find the resources on Craigslist and Facebook. Oh, OfferUp is another app that I use quite a bit to look up. I'm not as happy with that platform, but it is still a good place to find things and connect with people who are selling things for free or cheap. Um, I was talking with Troy. We got this chicken coop made and built, and we wound up having to go buy like siding sheets, like the wood ones from the local store we went to, and our chicken coop wound up costing us way more than we wanted to because we were hoping to find plywood, and that's the one thing for some reason I have not been able to find a lot of people giving away decent plywood for free. But wood right now, lumber right now, because of everything that's going on, is expensive, and that's kind of frustrating when you're trying to start a homestead and build infrastructure, and a sheet of plywood costs $20. Um, that's not fun. So we're trying to go slow and build what we can when we can. Um, it's very hard for me. I'm not a patient person. I want my homestead to be at the level of some of these homesteads that I see that have been established for 10 years. And realistically, it's not possible. I can't be there. You know, right now my chicken run consists of T-posts and chicken wire and zip ties. And that's my chicken run. And it's not pretty. And the door, the gate for the fence is a pallet with some of the boards removed so it's lighter, with chicken wire stretched across it. It's not pretty. It's not attractive, but it functions. I'm okay for now with doing the function and then doing the pretty later. Um, so that's something else. You know, if you're getting into this and you're feeling discouraged because you're not where everybody else is, remember, go back and look at some of these people's first videos. Go back and look at where they started when they started their YouTube channels. You're going to see that they didn't have what they have now. They probably were using chicken wire and T-posts for their runs. You have to start somewhere, and don't get it so stuck in your head that you have to have it this way in order for you to have it, because I think that that's an obstacle for a lot of people. You get so stuck on how you want it, and you can't do it the way you want right away, so you don't do it. Do it. Jump in. Throw up the T-posts and the chicken wire. Use pallets to build a chicken coop. It might not be beautiful. It might not be square. That's something we ran into because the pallets we got were all a little warped. Our chicken coop is not square. I mean, it's not going anywhere. It's sturdy. It's not going to break. But it is not, nothing is nice and neat and even, and it is what it is, you know, you work with what you got. So, but I think I'm going to end this video for now, and I will try to come back later when it's a little warmer outside and I'm feeling a little bit better, and do a tour of the outside, let you guys see what we've done with the chicken coop so far, and I can kind of walk you through the idea I have for the automatic water. I actually stole it from another YouTube channel, the idea I'm going to use. But yeah, just join those Facebook groups. Start where you are. You know, if all you can do is 2 chickens because you're in the city, and you can't do much. Put up a little chicken run, make sure they have a coop, and get started. I mean, we haven't gotten any eggs from our chickens yet. I keep calling them freeloaders, but I can guarantee you, that first egg is going to be a reason for celebration in my house. I'm I'm already thrilled with what we're doing, and we've only just begun. So, thanks for coming along on the journey with us so far, and I hope you guys stick around and keep watching. And you know, if you like our videos, subscribe. I know today's video is just me talking to you, but I do try to do stuff with the cute animals and that too. It's just, you know, some days are harder than others. So, but it's great hanging out with you guys today, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. See you later. Bye.